Okay, guys, we are going live, and here's a little intro for you. Hey guys, Agamemnon here.
Furious George? Furious?
Furious, yes.
I think you'd like me to go by Furious.
It's easier. It's like
Easier
so
to
many
say.
less syllables. Welcome to StarCraft Happy Hour
I
episode.
feel like
We're a little
we're
angled
on an
here. Eh?
angle.
Oh well. Technical difficulties. Oh yeah, we are. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can. There. That's better. Okay, that's better.
Your apartment isn't made poorly.
This is episode 3? 4.
4.
Episode 4 of StarCraft Happy Hour.
4.
I am Agamemnon. With me is Furious.
Yeah, we already did that.
We already did that part. So, welcome to the show, guys. Today what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be talking a to this man right here because he got himself out of bronze. I'm way too centered here. There we go. So he got himself out of bronze. We're going to find out a little bit about Furious, what makes him tick, where he came from,
Yep.
where he's going,
Yep.
and we're going to watch some epic Furious play.
Yep.
We got a play of the week, which is also based on this guy.
Like overload.
Oh my god, so I think for our last half we're probably going to just watch a subscriber replay. We've got a few of them, some really nice HOTS play, so you guys get a chance to check that out. And if you're in the chat, ask away. He's not allowed to say no, he's got to answer
I
everything.
have to answer everything.
And hopefully you guys are also going to learn that if you're in bronze, you can get out too, and he's going to tell you how.
Yeah.
Right? Alright, so
A
let's...
couple simple answers, but I guess we'll find out. I guess you'll ask me that.
We're gonna drag it out, that's for sure. Okay, so let's pull up your replay here. We're gonna be in the HOTS beta.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, a lot's gonna change in the next few months as we get to release. Wow, we're really orange. That's weird. Oh well.
Mood lighting.
We're cheesies, actually. That's what we're made of.
I don't know if
Okay.
anybody else has noticed out there, but I know both of us have. Is the HOTS beta ladder is like
Oh, it's
all
nuts.
over. I played a diamond the other day, and he was in bronze.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
know what? I
wild.
actually got discouraged. We're gonna go to StarCraft with the overlay. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, I actually got really discouraged the other day. I was playing on the ladder, doing really well, and then I lost like 5 in a row to guys who were clearly
Yeah.
not bronze. All right, so I'm gonna kind of do double duty here. Actually, you know what? We're gonna let Furious handle the cam just a little bit. I can do a little bit too. So let's. First of all, I'm going to introduce the players. In the top right, we have Furious. He's playing Protoss. I think this may be the first time people have seen you play Protoss.
I think so.
You like the production tab up?
I think the production tab's a good one.
Okay. In the bottom left, we have Nyroni.
Nyroni?
And he's the blue Terran. So, we're going to get into some questions. I've got a question sheet right here. This is from our viewers. They sent in a list of questions.
Okay.
Sam from Nebraska asks, Furious, where are you from?
I am currently residing in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I
Okay.
am from a town outside of Toronto. I grew up in Peterborough, Ontario.
I think most people from Nebraska are familiar with Peterborough.
I think so.
I think that goes without saying. Google it, people.
Lots of hockey players from there. It's about
Yes.
We have the lift locks, so that's kind of neat. Hydraulic.
Boring.
Taking on a tour sometime. The Seven Wonders of Peterborough.
Okay, Sam, hopefully that answered your question. Rob from Texas asks, how long have you been playing StarCraft?
How long have I been playing StarCraft? Well, I didn't play StarCraft. I started playing StarCraft 2.
Okay, right, yeah.
And
So you never played the original?
I never played the original
Or
StarCraft.
Brood War?
No.
Okay.
I did play Red Alert. I guess that was kind of the game
Command
I
and Conquer,
played.
yeah.
The Command and Conquer games. A little bit, nothing too serious.
Yeah.
I would have started playing StarCraft 2, I think in like almost a year ago now.
About a year ago?
Yeah, in January.
Okay.
I really was more into the first-person shooters.
Okay, so I think that brings us to our
is that
third
another
question.
question?
No,
Oh,
it's okay.
okay.
How did you get into SC2?
Oh, okay. Well, Agamemnon introduced it to me. So I've always really loved video games, and I just really didn't. I had heard of StarCraft 4. I never really knew much about it. Never really had any friends who played it.
Right.
Again, we really played a lot of the first-person shooter games.
Like Halo, stuff like that?
Halo, Gears
Counter-Strike?
of War, Call of Duty, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I was just getting a little bored with that. It
Repetitive?
wasn't that. Yeah, it's very repetitive. It's not it is kind of strategic,
Yeah.
but not really.
Yeah.
You can get a little strategic with some game stuff, or team stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try StarCraft out because learning a little bit more about it, I knew it was actually quite challenging.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. I don't know if like most of our viewers probably know this, but you've gone through actually a lot of changes in your StarCraft career.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I've been playing Protoss since StarCraft 1 came out. Like
Yeah.
I played Protoss, I like Protoss, and I just like that's all I've ever played basically, other than the campaigns, right?
Right.
So, do you want to tell us, describe for us a little bit your journey through StarCraft? Kind of, maybe your like what took you to where you are today, if that makes any sense.
As far as race goes?
Yeah, you can like. I think a lot of people are kind of wondering, you know, like, should I stick with the race I'm with,
Right.
or...
Well, I first started playing... Again, I didn't have any sort of background in StarCraft, so I didn't have a... So I was just going in and I had to choose a race.
Did you play the campaign before choosing your race, or after, or anything like that?
No, before.
Before
played
playing
the
the campaign. Okay.
I chose Terran initially, only because they're the human race.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew what all the structures were
Yeah.
from playing some other RTS games like Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
I knew what a barracks was. I didn't
Yeah.
know what an Ultralist den was.
Sure.
Right? Like, so that is the biggest reason why I went with Terran. I think that's why a lot of people start with Terran. It's just familiar words
Yep.
for things.
Yep.
I then fooled around with Terran and Zerg back and forth.
Okay.
And I never did Protoss.
Okay.
I'm not really sure why. I've never really... Yeah, I don't know why. I thought Zerg was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I was
Zerg is
playing
cool.
against
Yeah.
them as Terran, so I wanted to give them a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
And now...
now you've been playing Protoss
I've
a
been
lot.
playing Protoss.
In fact, I think Protoss is taking you actually out of bronze and into silver.
And that's kind of why the other reasons why I've switched a lot, tried everything. I'm not... How do I say this? I'm not... I don't like and I'm not used to not being good at something. So, I come from like a very athletic background.
Okay.
So, when I started playing, and I'm pretty good at sports. And
Yeah.
when I started playing StarCraft, I sucked, right? Like I was getting smoked, and it was terrible. I hated it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it must be the race. So that's why I kept switching all over the place,
Okay.
switching back and forth, because I'm like, maybe I'll be better at this one or better at this one.
But it seems like you proved yourself right.
Apparently. So I've started playing Protoss, and I don't know if it's because Protoss is an OP race, but I seem to be able to do a lot better with them. So I'm pretty happy with StarCraft right now, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you're enjoing playing Protoss more
Yeah, I
than...
am. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think that's a good lesson for all of us to learn. Like, Protoss is... StarCraft is such a difficult game. It really is. If you're not happy with the race you're playing, feel free to try other ones. You never know, right?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, and you gotta... So, I played Terran a lot. I played Zerg a lot. Like it wasn't just like one and done kind of. Oh, I don't like these. Like you got to give them a shot.
No, you tried for a long
Yeah,
time.
I did.
Yeah. No, you did. So okay, here's a simple question then: why do you like Protoss better?
Why do I like Protoss better? For whatever reason, my APM is a lot higher.
Yeah, I think your APM seriously.
It's double.
Like you were hitting like I'm not even talking. Hold on, let's look at
I
this.
think this game, my average APM by the end of it, 120.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. It is. I remember.
I just seem to like the mechanics of Protoss better. I like I can micro the army a lot better.
See, like in this game, it looks like you're about to lose.
Like this game.
But you're not stopping.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is about Protoss, but I just feel a lot more comfortable. I know what's going on at all times.
Really, eh?
I seem to have a lot better worker.
Your worker production is much better
with Protoss. Yeah. There's a couple little gimmicks and cheats you can use as Protoss to catch up in some stuff you're not behind in, as in the chrono boost. So you can chrono boost out. Tacky nut, you can chrono boost out pro.
Yeah.
You can kind of catch up, and I tend to forget stuff. So that's initially why I switched to Zerg from Terran.
Right.
Because when I forget stuff, I can just build a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But really, yeah, you can do that in Zerg, but that's not how to play the Zerg race.
Yeah.
So I find that my mistakes are a little bit. I'm able to protect them more by playing the Protoss race.
You seem to really like the warp-in mechanic.
I love warp-in. Like that's the greatest thing ever. It's unbelievable how fast you can get units out.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest struggle with Terran.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get a big enough army.
Yeah.
But with Protoss, the army you can pump out, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have Kim from Quebec. What's your favorite
Bonjour.
beer?
My favorite beer. Well, tonight I'm drinking Keller.
That's actually a French beer.
It is. Yeah, I'm not. Is
It's
it
from France, I think.
Yeah, it's not from Quebec though.
Is it? Oh,
I think it's Belgium.
Oh,
to be
Belgium's
honest.
French.
Are they French?
Belgium's French.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, it is Belgium. So I actually do like Keller.
Okay.
I would say probably my most favorite beer is Guinness.
It is a good
Like
choice.
if there's one beer that I could only drink, it would probably be Guinness.
Okay, cool.
I do like a lot of beer though.
So
There aren't many
much.
beers that I
Favorite beer would be much beer.
yeah. There's very few beers that I haven't tried. I have a beer wall collection,
Sweet.
and so it's been going for like 4 years now, and I have about 200 different bottles of beer. that I've
Nice.
tried.
Very nice.
So I'm a beer guy.
Okay, pants or shorts?
Pants.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You know, I wouldn't have gone for pants.
I know. You're not wearing pants right now.
No, I'm not. Hey, are you? Yes,
I'm
you are.
wearing
Okay, very good. All right.
You are wearing shorts though.
I am. Favorite game or sport outside of StarCraft?
That's changed over the years. Probably my favorite sport, and I wish I could still play it like I used to be able to play it, is volleyball.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my injuries have caught up with me, and I can't really play volleyball anymore. So that's slightly unfortunate, but I love volleyball. It's something I played a lot. That and basketball. So probably my favorite sport right now is golf.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's because I'm not in the best of shape anymore. You don't have to be in that great of shape to play volleyball.
Oh, this is
golf. So.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt,
go
but
for
this is a great engagement right here.
Yeah, so I got a pretty good time when the siege tanks weren't siege.
Right.
And so I just went for it. And as soon as my zealots kind of went down, I said, you know what? If I take a couple more shots, I'm going to lose all my stalkers.
And I love that. I love that.
And I had another warp. And I love placing pylons down.
Oh, yeah.
Like it is so awesome that you can do that.
Yeah. Like you see you doing it right now.
It's just...
You know, I was
makes
watching.
such a difference.
I was watching Diapollo.
Yeah.
and or Dignitas Apollo. One of the things he talks about is that there's a certain stage in the game, like when you're on 3 bases, and you should just be putting pylons all over the map,
Yeah.
like just like
This
randomly.
was another great engagement. I got him when he was moving forward because he's got a lot of siege
Oh,
tanks
look.
there, and I got him just before he got sieged up.
Oh man,
I was able to take his army.
that's
But
beautiful.
yeah, like I love in some of the maps, like you could have done it here too, but like throwing pylons down on the side
yeah.
and just warping in like 6 zealots and go into their expansions and stuff.
Like, do you see that group of zealots down at the bottom? Did you run them in, or were they coming down from the side? Because I saw they kind of came up from the bottom base. I don't know if you remember.
No, I didn't have a pylon down.
No,
below,
you didn't.
so-
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So let's move on to another question here. All right. So this is the question that everybody has been waiting to the answer to,
Okay.
and we might actually get to the end of this game, but we're gonna hear the answer. How did you get into silver? Like, there are so many people out
Okay.
there who are stuck in bronze. They're frustrated.
Yep.
They don't know how to get out. What did you do? And it doesn't have to be one thing, but maybe give us a few tips
Okay.
to
Number
get
one.
out of bronze. All right, take notes, people.
Number 1, I switched to Protoss. So that's not saying that Protoss is the race that can get you into bronze, but I found a race that I'm good at.
Okay. Yeah.
So I probably, you know what, after practicing, I would have been able to get in with Terran or Zerg.
Yeah.
It was so frustrating though.
Okay.
So, but yeah, number 1, find a race that you really like and
That
that
you
you
feel good at.
understand, you feel comfortable at, and you feel good at.
Okay.
And that for me was Protoss.
Right.
Number 2 is worker production.
Okay.
It's still something I'm working on, but one thing that I've noticed has improved in like the first 9-10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I'm getting really good at my worker production. Like it's
Yeah.
constant. What I need to work on, and I remember in this game I didn't do it, is when a battle ensues,
Yeah.
I forget to then continue that worker production.
Right, because you're thinking about building army, micro.
So that's the next thing I need to work on. Is,
Yeah.
okay, now that I'm
For a
not
big
good at-
engagement, your money in this game was not very high.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm not very good at doing a big engagement and then still doing worker production. I
Right.
tend to halt that.
yes.
Which, okay, that's fine, right? Like, that's okay at our level.
And
But I
actually,
need to start it back up again.
if you guys get a chance, watch one of our videos. It's entitled Micro versus Macro, and it actually talks about people at our level, whether or not when you're in a battle issue, if you should be focusing on the battle or if you should be focusing on worker production. So
Yeah.
we came to the realization that it's really more important to focus on your army and micro your army. But to Furious's point, as soon as that battle's done, you got to get right
remember.
back.
It's just okay, worker production.
Yeah.
And so this game was a good example. So when those marauders got into my base and they were kind of ripping my expansion apart,
Yeah, you lost workers.
I pulled all my workers, sent them in the main, and I just forgot about it. I don't even know if they were mining, right? I just got them out of there,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was just warping in units and trying to micro them as much as possible just to try and survive that.
Yeah,
And at one point I did bring the workers back, and they were able to clean out the last few marauders.
yeah.
But I would say that's the third thing is do pay attention to micro. Like, I think there's obviously different levels of micro.
Yeah.
So there's like the Warp Prism Immortal
Oh.
dropping micro, that's
Yeah.
just like the pro micro. But then there's just very simple micro, as in making sure the right units are attacking the right units of your opponent.
Yeah.
Right? So in this case, make sure the zealots focus in down on the siege tanks.
Okay, right, yeah, yeah.
So just kind of little micro like that. Just
And
don't send them all in. Like, actually send them to specific units. Try
Yeah.
and pull, if it's stalkers, try and pull some stalkers back that are being low on health.
I gotta say that is advice that I would like to take better to heart.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get, like, StarCraft's such a nice game to watch, right?
Right.
So it's really easy that when there's an engagement, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna sit back and I'm gonna enjoy watching this battle of the two armies clashing, and you know,
Yeah.
if I win, I win. But yeah, like we saw you retreat here,
Yeah.
and You waited until you thought you might be able to win, and then as soon as you thought, you know what, I'm just taking too much heat, just pull out.
Yeah.
You know, and the nice thing about Protoss with the forward pylon is reinforcing is really quick.
Yeah.
So micro, one of the things I think you said made you better at micro was StarCraft Master, the
StarCraft
training.
Master, for sure. We have videos on that.
Yeah, we have a whole playlist on that, so go check those out. That helps a lot.
I would say we talked about it a bit last week. I guess I'll have 2 more to how to get out of bronze.
Sure. Let us know.
The next one's kind of a 2-part is build an army.
Okay.
Get production buildings down that you can build an army and reinforce.
Right.
So don't do a fast expand 1 gate double forge. Like
because then you've got
like
too much
or something, right?
research, and you can't build enough army.
Because you're not going to be able to hold anything off.
Right.
So just realize that there's some builds you can't do.
Sure.
It's just you're not going to be able to do it because it takes that exceptional micro to be able to stop anything.
And
so get your army because you're going to lose it.
Yes.
So you need to reinforce it.
Yeah.
So get your production buildings down to get an army.
Okay.
And then the second part of that is when you feel comfortable with your army, then start your upgrades.
Okay.
So that's kind of one thing I'm getting with Protoss now is I'm getting the big army around the 15, 16 minute mark.
Okay.
And I'm also now getting a 1-1 with it,
okay.
right?
Yes.
So
but
you get comfortable enough that so I'm getting my army down, so now I have enough multitasking to be able to remember to get a couple upgrades.
So I guess, would you say then the advice would be try not to do everything all at once?
Don't do everything all at once.
Pick a goal, like for example, like you mentioned, my goal is going to be getting up enough production facilities, getting a big army, expanding.
And what can help with that is just some time. So you help me with that a bit. So we're doing this thing now where you're expanding at 3:45.
Yeah.
You're moving out at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of doing that too.
Yeah.
I'm expanding at 3:45. I'm moving into map control at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
At 10 minutes, I'm starting upgrades.
Yeah.
It's just little triggers I have now.
Yeah.
So time triggers are a big thing.
Those are benchmarks are good to set for yourself.
To get out of bronze too, huge. Because there's so many times when I was in bronze before where I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, oh man, I don't even know what happened. And I look down at the game clock and it's like 25 minutes into the game. I'm like, no wonder I lost to
nothing
Brood
happened.
Lords,
Yeah,
right? Like I'm
yeah.
not even doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's just little time things like that can help you make sure.
Yeah, that timing that we were talking about, or that Furious was just mentioning, is actually based on Filter
right,
SC.
Filter
Now,
SC.
I'm going to say I did a lot of research on Filter's build. It's really popular, and it's really good for Terran. It's not great for Protoss.
No.
It really... Because, see, Marines... anyways, I don't want to get into all the details, but the point is, if you set a benchmark for yourself for expanding, and a benchmark for attacking, and a benchmark for how many workers you have, let's just say the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
Then you might, let's say you win a couple games, you lose a couple games. Go back, take a look at those timings, and you might need to tweak it a bit.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of following the Filter StarCraft a bit with upgrades.
Okay, cool.
So that's the kind of little tweak I threw into it.
Yeah.
Because I found that going out at 10 minutes was a little too early.
Right.
With an army. Just because if your opponent is reasonable, it's just not the way the Protoss is meant to engage.
No, it's a very tight time.
So I delay it a bit, but make sure I get
some upgrades. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Very good. Any other suggestions for people in bronze?
No, I'd say if you can get a race you're comfortable with, I almost would say if you're not sure, play the different races and see which one has your highest APM.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? Because you're going to be different. Each race has different mechanics, and you're going to be different at all those mechanics.
Yep.
So if you're not really sure, you don't really have that much of a bias. Like I know, I'm not sure if Mike's on, but Mike says he's Terran till he dies, right? He just will always play Terran.
Yeah.
And there's some people that are like that, right? They just
Yeah.
love playing a certain race. But if you can find a race that you have a high APM with, then that's probably the race to go with.
Okay, cool.
What was point number 2? Worker production.
Oh, did we mention what the goal is at 10 minutes?
To have 50 workers.
50 workers. Yeah. Okay, so that
that's constant. That is like constant work. That's 2 saturated bases.
2 saturated, and the great thing is, okay, so this is another thing that I kind of forgot to mention. Don't one base. Do not one base. I mean, like, I kind of thought one basing might be good in theory, but there's too much map.
What did I say last week?
Always expand.
Always expand.
In every race. That's what he said.
Always expand.
So if you get an expansion up around, the 3-4 minute mark, and you're constantly making workers, at 10 minutes, if you've been making workers correctly, you're going to have 50.
Yep.
Like, you will have 50. If you have less than 50 and you haven't had, like, a drop in the back, or, like, marauders killing your workers, or you haven't had to pull probes, if you're not at 50, then you're not really making enough.
No.
And the cool timing about that is once you hit 10, you got 2 full saturated bases. If you then go and attack, then, or like you said, just get some map control, you might be safe to take a third.
Yep.
And then then get that worker production going again. And now you're going to be on 3 saturated bases, and then you can just hopscotch through bases from there.
Yep.
But the point is, those benchmarks, even if they're not correct, try them out and tweak them to your advantage.
Watch your replays.
And watch your replays. So I think we're going to... So what we're going to do now is we're going into the play of the week, and then we're going to watch a subscriber replay from the HOTS beta, and maybe during the subscriber replay, if he has any other ideas for how you can get out of bronze, he's going to lay that knowledge on you.
Ask away.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right, so let's do the video thingy. 5? Nope, 5? There we go.
Hello, friends. We have the Furious Play of the Week. Hope you like the intro. Oh, we're already going. Okay. So basically, this is actually a game I played. This is on Wings of Liberty. And up to this point, I did my normal expand, gateways. My opponent had been one base, and up to this point, it looks like he just took an expansion. He's been doing a lot of Blink Stalker play. So I've been holding on pretty well, actually. I was a little surprised. He was decent. He was a pretty good player. But my army size is right where I wanted to. I mean, look at the difference between... I've been able to pick off some of these Stalkers as he just jumped up. He did just snipe my Nexus, though. So basically, I actually don't feel too bad right now until this point. I see that pylon go down, I'm like, oh crap. And this is a great build, actually. It's something I'm going to try. So he Blink Stalker, up and down, gives himself enough time for a Dark Shrine. I don't have a Robo down. It's something I learned. I need to get a Robo down, get that Observer. And he took me, it's very short, he took me out with DTs. I thought that was a great play for the play of the week. Props to Feedfest. If he's watching, we'll try and make sure he finds out somehow with the epic DT warp in into my base using the Observer above ground sight. A lot happened for a second there. I was like, what just happened? But then I figured out what he had done. So really cool. Good job, Feedfest. And maybe we'll see you again sometime on the ladder. That's the Furious Play of the Week. Pretty simple this week. I feel like...
Alright, I've been let back in the studio. How was the play of the week?
It was good.
I was getting a beer while you were doing it.
I tried to find a pro one. There wasn't any good replays this week I could find.
This is all about Furious today, man.
Tough time of year. Tournaments are just starting to get back up and going, so.
Yeah. A lot of our pros are on Christmas holiday, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so since pros are doing nothing for us lately, we are going to a subscriber replay. Let's get out of this. Okay, so this is going to be... I forget his name here. Let's go to the replay. Again, this is going to be on Heart of the Swarm Beta. What time is it there? It's 7:30. Okay, so we have some time. Let's take a look at Can't remember what time these guys were played at. This is between two guys. They're both. But I think we're going to take a look at this one first. So this is on Ohana. Let's load that up. There we go. Oh shoot! I gotta turn that off.
Yeah,
I did that 2 weeks in a row.
Idra.
Okay, here we go. Alright, so. Yeah, Idra's one of our subscribers, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a game between Crazy... Oh, actually, you know what? Furious, why don't you introduce our
Sure.
players for us?
In the bottom right, in the red, we have Crazy. And he... Oh, no, this guy has no idea what he's doing. And the top left... Aikpa.
Is that...
Aikpa.
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 You just call him Aik.
Aik.
Oh, Aik.
Aikipa. Aik. Yeah.
IKEA.
What is it? Zerg and Protoss.
Yep. So we got ZVP.
And you said these guys... So this is... Obviously not a ladder game, then.
This isn't a ladder game, but I think they're both in the Diamond League.
Cool.
And again, kind of like you had mentioned, the HOTS beta right now is nuts. I mean, like,
Yeah.
things are so imbalanced. There's so much more that's being worked out by Blizzard. So right now, what these guys are both kind of talking about is whether or not it's a viable strategy to start an opening as a sky toss. You know, like the air, like to go air Protoss opening.
Phoenix Void Ray play.
Oracle, especially Oracle
in
first.
Hot. Right,
Yeah.
Sorry, I got Hot's mind on.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I'm not gonna try that yet. Oracle play.
it's a lot of fun, but I have not. I've had a lot of worker kills, but it's hard to transition out of. I've found for myself. But
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of changes down the road. We'll see if.
Do you think you should always get a mothership core out?
Oh man, I don't even.
Like, is it one of those things you should just always do?
That's a hard question, man.
I think
Because it seems to me like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, and the reason why I'm going to say yes is because I think all of the old builds so far really do apply. The Forge Fast Expand is good. PVZ.
Yeah.
The a Fast Expand versus Terran with the Gateway, I think is a good opening. PvP, you kind of have to really scout your opponent, but the
Pick
Mothership
Colossus.
Core is going to really help with early game harassment. So if he's tossing Reapers up into your base, things like
They're so
that.
fast, eh?
Yeah, they're really
Mothership
fast.
Core,
You need to
yeah.
have something. So,
And the mass recall is a great,
oh, it's so much fun.
like,
I
just a little
love
bit
Mass
later in the
Recall.
game if you just
Yeah.
want to get either you're attacking, you're putting
Yeah.
pressure on, or you get caught out in the map somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I'm just wondering if it's just like it will be just a standard thing where you always get
I think it will be.
Mothership Core.
I think it will be, but
Right.
right now all the builds that I'm working on are based on Wings of Liberty. So
Right.
I just don't even know how to fit it in. And again, the metagame is going to change so much that I don't even know what to say. But
I'm really interested to see how Zerg uses their units.
I've
So
seen some really
specifically the
cool
Viper.
play.
Like,
Very,
I think
very
that can
cool.
be that, like, there's going to be a lot of people who, I think the majority of us probably won't be able to use it as effectively and efficiently as it should be used.
But the pros are going to
I
make it
can't
look
wait
really
to see
good.
the pros use it, right?
You know, okay, so if you guys are familiar with the Viper is a flying unit that's able to. I mean, they have a few spells, but the one really big spell is the one where they.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but like,
they grab a
it's
unit.
like
and they,
the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That guy's name. Oh,
Come here, right? So, but the Viper, and you know what you can do? You can use that with friendly units. So what you can do is,
oh yeah.
you can go above ground, like so you can go like, let's say, okay, look for example here. So let's say you got a Viper right here,
Yeah.
or no, forget this. Let's say you have an Ultralisk.
Yeah.
You have an Ultralisk here, and you fly your Viper up onto the high ground.
You can
Pull
them
the
up.
Ultralisk up.
That's cool.
You can attack the workers or whatever, and then take your Viper and pull the Ultralisk back down. It's like
Wow.
there's going to be some extremely fun
Yeah,
Viper play, like
yeah.
extremely fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the Viper really used.
But it's going to take a while. Like just like in Wings of Liberty, there's a lot of strategies that
Mhm.
even in the beta that It took a long, like the Infestor in the beta wasn't used much,
Right.
but now it's like everyone's
And-
crying about it. We see that Ike has taken 3 bases, and he's Zerg. What does he have? He's got going for double Evo for
We
upgrades.
see oracles coming out from.
Oracles are coming out again.
So no oracles yet, but he's building one.
Yeah.
Look at the
So we got
worker lead our Crazy has. Wow, that's impressive.
very good. So he's at about the 7.5 minute mark with 40 workers. Again, like we said, 50
doing
workers by
really
10.
good.
So he's on target.
Really good.
Ike is actually a bit behind in worker production.
Yeah, he is. I was surprised.
Yeah.
As a Zerg.
So Oracle play is really fun. Oracle has this really nice ability called Activate Pulsar Beam, and it slaughters workers.
Yeah.
I believe it does 25... oh, it's not on here, but anyways. I believe it does 25 damage per second, but it has like...
It's an energy spell? Is everything Oracle does energy?
Yeah.
Yep.
But, so it drains the energy of the Oracle,
Yeah.
but it does damage at the same time. Once you run out of energy, you can't attack it.
The Oracle's useless?
Yeah, so you have to turn it on or off. But it does extra damage against light.
Oh.
So when you see it go into a worker line, it shreds the workers.
Right.
Actually, on Team Liquid, they did some interesting some numbers. I think it was the Heart of the Swarm Q&A or something like that, or facts or whatever. Two oracles will take on a spore crawler. So they can fly in, take out a spore crawler, and finish off those
Let's
workers.
see how many worker kills it. 1,
2. Look how fast
three,
they go down.
4, 5, 6,
Look at that.
7. No, not quite 7.
You got 7, and
Wow.
they will kill a queen. Those 2 will take out that queen. Here we go. Let's watch this. Come on, go, 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 go! Ah!
8,
See, they could take out that
9,
spore crawler.
10, 11.
Okay, so he just turned it off. He
Wow.
turned off the
Yeah.
pulsar beam and he's running away. So that's okay, but
That's
I mean,
pretty good. 11. How much are those?
they're I think 150, 150. They're not
50?
cheap.
No.
They're not cheap, especially in the early game.
Yeah.
But look at what he did.
Yeah. This is.
And the great thing about this is that when you're playing against a Zerg, not only do they have to run their workers away or you kill all their workers, they also have to build all these spore crawlers.
So I wonder if this is kind of negating the
5 kills.
the 4 queen, because
So we got 10 kills on these guys.
Ake did a 4 queen opening, and that is usually a pretty good anti-air defense.
Right.
But with the Oracle, maybe that's not going to happen anymore. They're not going to.
If you can take your 2 oracles and you can catch 1 queen by herself,
Yeah.
then you're fine. So focus on the queen, focus on the spore crawler if there is one. I believe, and I might be wrong, but as far as now, I think those 2 oracles can easily handle a queen, or
we got
easily handle a spore crawler.
swarm hosts. We see crazy or.
Do we have some coming?
Making some swarm hosts. That's another interesting Zerg. I don't know. I'm kind of glad I'm not playing Zerg anymore. I don't think I would be able to
To micro
control
them?
most of
Yeah.
these units.
The
Swarm hosts are like, I don't know, like
The Locusts hit air.
no, they don't.
They
used
changed
to.
that.
I know they only hit ground.
Oh, okay. So here is a swarm host, guys.
I don't think I would be good with the swarm hosts.
I've run into swarm hosts a little bit, and I don't find them that hard.
No.
You need detection, and
You need
they
detection,
go down
yeah.
pretty quick.
Like
You know what's really cool?
detection with Colossus, I would imagine, would just like
Okay, so
melt them.
here's something for you: Phoenix and Vipers. A Phoenix can, as far as I saw a game. A Phoenix can unburrow. So these guys have to burrow in order to do anything, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you burrow with Swarm Host. A Phoenix can fly over, use the graviton beam, and pull him out,
They have to have
and
an
right up
observer,
into the
though,
air
right?
with an observer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vipers can pull them out of the ground too.
Huh.
So you never know. Maybe ZVZ is going to be a little more interesting as well.
That's one thing I hope, is that ZVZ isn't just a Zergling, Baneling,
Infestor.
Hydralisk. Same thing every time.
Well, what I'm hoping is we're going to see some Tempests. coming out of Crazy. That's what I'm hoping. Right now we've got 3 bases for Crazy, 3 bases for the Zerg. Do you have any opinion on that?
Yes. Protoss should always go 3 base. Based on that army size. I think the Oracles allowed him to do that. Personally, I think that's probably why he did it.
Let's look at the units lost. He did a lot of damage.
Yeah, he did a lot of economic damage with those Oracles.
Yeah.
So, and this is like, I love that. This is what I do now as Protoss, is just make these walls.
Yeah, that's something that I have kind of ignored,
and that's what I love with
but
the warp gates too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's worth doing.
yeah.
So see, right now we've got these 2 Oracles just doing nothing. What I've done is when I've built those 2 Oracles, I keep them with my main army.
Yeah.
Because they're great for harassment, but once the harassment stops, you might as well use them. So I've put them with my main army, and they actually do a lot of damage, and they don't take a lot of attention.
Right.
So just throw them in there, turn on the pulsar beam or whatever it's called, let them do their thing. Really like this observer play out of Crazy.
I mean, Crazy's got everything.
Yeah.
Server Zealot, Tempest, Void Ray, Stalker, Warp Prism,
Oracles.
Sentry, Oracle.
This Queen's gonna go down pretty easy. Oh, we've got an attack on... Oh!
Okay, so here's the Swarm Host.
Oh, they're up on the high ground.
Man, look at that range!
That's incredible.
I wonder if he has the upgrade. He must. There's an upgrade that you can get to make them last longer.
I don't know. I don't see it.
But I'm not sure where. You might be able to see it on the actual...
Okay, now, this may be a bit of an overreaction, but if he has an observer, he should be able to get rid of these Swarm Hosts with no problem.
And this, I think, is the thing with Swarm Hosts, is they can't be alone. Because they can't hit air, you'd never be able to take the observer out.
Alright, let's see how... And they're going to go down fast with that observer there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they're pretty squishy like that.
Tempests are a really interesting unit. Because their range is so ridiculous. You could just sit them outside of a base, and they can just poke away. And you have to make an air unit. Like spore crawlers, ground units that hit air cannot hit them.
They can't. But the thing about Tempest that you have to remember is that they have a range of 15, but their sight is only, I think, 13. So they're like a tank. You have to have something that gives them vision ahead, like an observer. Actually, any unit will. But as long as it's ahead of them, then they'll get their full range.
But I mean, a spore crawler doesn't have a range of 13.
No, not at all. Alright, so here's an interesting battle. Ooh, so very
those
cool.
are like the slowdown thing.
Yeah,
right?
that's the Oracles do that. Nice force fields by by Crazy. Love it. More roaches coming in. What's our army tab like? Ooh, pretty close, pretty close. At the same time, we actually have a drop in Crazy's base of just a couple, but they'll do a good amount of damage. This is getting thinned out.
I think those are pretty those are highly upgraded roaches, I believe.
They're just walking through 3-3. Holy crap! And only 1-1.
Will melt those.
Yeah.
Oh man, but those Tempests do a lot of damage on them. They almost one-shot them. So wow, that's pretty impressive. A Tempest can almost one-shot a 3v3 Hydralisk when they're only 1.
And the roaches cannot hit air. Unbelievable. Okay, so we had a pretty big... Oh, not too much damage, actually.
How many probes do you lose? No, he's okay.
He's still doing okay. Yeah. What's the unit's loss tab looking like if you hit L? Ooh, Protoss took a bit of a hit there. Yeah.
Pretty close. Actually, that's... I'm slightly surprised, actually, because...
That's an interesting composition.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what we're researching.
I love the graphics on Swarm Hosts. They look so goofy.
That probe's just hanging out by the side of the creep up there.
He's gonna die really fast.
Yeah, there you go. So click on one of the locusts. No, it doesn't tell me.
Okay, so locusts get the upgrades.
Yeah, they get the upgrades too. But so there is an upgrade somewhere. Yeah, I think you get it from the infestation pit.
Okay.
That has the locusts last longer.
Right.
Increases their time.
Okay.
I'm sure you would have that.
I'd say so. Yeah. We can find. Where would it be? Infestation pit.
Infestation. Oh. Oh. It's not in the infestation.
Maybe it's not there.
It would be in the lair then. No.
That's a hive, sorry. Oh, yeah, no, I don't know. Well, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I
now
thought
we've
for sure
got
it was in
Tempest
the
out on the
infestation.
field. What kind of unit composition do we have here? Oh, look at that range.
Oh man, he just found a drop.
Oh! Oh, he's not going to go after the drop.
Why isn't he? Oh,
It was an auto attack. It was an auto attack. He did not see this drop. He did not see that drop coming.
What's in it?
We've got the main army over here of Ake. Oh, these guys have sneaked right by. We have roaches and roaches. That's going to chew up the back of his base, and he didn't see it. Ugh. Other great thing that Tempests are good against is, I think, is massive units.
They do extra damage.
They do extra damage to massive units in
yeah,
air.
65.
Well, we got a couple.
Carriers out. Man,
carriers.
He's doing it all.
He's getting dropped in two directions, like drop here and then over here.
Carriers
drop right here.
Pretty fantastic.
And then an engagement right here.
Man.
I love that answer right there. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That was a pretty cool game,
That was
right?
a cool game. Yeah, we got to see a lot of different HOTS units there.
Yeah, that was really fun. So thanks to Ake and Crazy, I forget his real name, his subscriber name, but appreciate those games, guys. That was a lot of fun. I think we got all the questions out of the way for Furious. Hopefully you guys have your answers as to how to get out of bronze. He did it. Maybe we might be able to do a dedicated bronze tutorial, like how to get out of bronze with some of your replays, something like that. We might be able to do that for you guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Please follow us on Twitter, because if there's anything that happens or new shows that are coming up, we can let you know. Please subscribe, send replays, and tell us about the replays. Please don't just send us replays. Tell us why you're sending it to us.
It gives us a better idea. It's kind of tough to watch all the different replays.
Yeah, and not knowing what to look for.
We don't always know what you really want to bring out and stuff. So.
Yeah. So yeah, send your replays to info@sc2mistakes.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Anything else they need to know?
Nope. Switch to Protoss.
And get out of bronze. See you guys.
See ya.